Welcome to Library Out Loud. I'm Erin, and today we're talking with Kris, Amy, and Amelia from the Spokane County Elections Office. We're talking about a little bit about how to make your vote count in local elections, but also all the intricacies of how ballots are secure, how you vote, how to get a replacement ballot, and so much more. Stay tuned. Thank you all for being here. Today we're talking about voting. Lots of voting questions. First question, what does the Spokane County Elections Office do?
That's a great question. When I tell people where I work, they often ask, well, is that full-time? Is that something that, you just have an election once or twice? But Spokane County Elections, we constantly maintain the voter registration lists. People are always moving, so we're updating addresses, we're registering new people. That's full-time, that we're taking care of those needs for our voters and maintaining that database. And then we do a lot of prep before the ballots even go out. We have to create the ballots, what's on the ballots, what are the races. We do a lot of proofreading. We put together a local voters pamphlet. We also prepare and mail out the ballots. And then once ballots come back, we process those and count those and
all that prep
certify
work.
All the elections.
So we have Engage, which comes out 3 times a year. You guys have that giant voters pamphlet. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of pages that comes out before every election cycle. So yeah, I know the work that we put into that. I can only imagine you're getting pieces of information from all the candidates, all the propositions, and you're putting it all together. That's a lot of work.
It's a good thing there's deadlines.
Absolutely. You can't work on something like that without a deadline.
That's just a target.
Yeah. So full time all year round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what we do in a nutshell.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so what does it look like to make sure everybody gets their ballot and make sure that their vote is counted?
Mm-hmm. I want the voters to know that, you get the ballot packet in the mail, but there's a lot that's gone on before you get that ballot packet in the mail. So like I said, we maintain the lists, and then we have to send those lists to our mail houses to print the ballots and also to print all of the envelopes. For this November election, we're sending out more than 374,000 ballots. And so all of those are printed, all of those are prepared, all of those, the packet that you get, we take those to our mail house, and they have a machine where it puts all of the packet together, and then we bring it back, we zip code it. Mm-hmm. That means sort it out by zip codes, so we get bulk mail rates,
right?
Save the taxpayers some money. And so that's a lot of the process, even before it gets to you. So that ballot has been treated with a lot of care.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
And then so people vote, right? And then they either put their ballot in the ballot box, or they mail it, or they come down to the office and turn it in right at the elections office. Mm-hmm. How do people know that their ballot's been counted?
Mm-hmm. Couple different ways for that. Yeah. We have a tracking system, and the hinge of our whole vote by mail processing is a sorter. A piece of equipment that we run all our ballots through at least twice. First time, it is recording that we've received it. So there's a list of everybody who's been mailed a ballot, and that information is on your return envelope, and it compares to the list. So if you've already returned a ballot, it's going to kick it out. So you can, might get a replacement ballot sent to you, but we're only going to count one of them. So once that eligibility has been used, it won't, that number goes away. So it takes a picture of the envelope, it takes a picture of the signature, and basically divides it by your legislative district, which we have 5 in Spokane, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7, and 9. So we do a kind of a first round, and then we just turn around and run them again after they've been verified. Okay. So basically comparing every signature on the envelopes that are coming in to what they have on their file when they originally registered, or when they went to the Department of Licensing, and they use that nice little keypad that's really hard to get detail on. Those are some of the reference signatures that we have in the system.
One.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So we always often ask folks to just check their driver's license signature if they're wanting to know that it's going to match for sure.
Okay.
That's a great way. It's a kind of one of the keys that they would hopefully have. And then as far as once we have checked that, it's uploaded as being accepted, or if there's a problem, further review you can go online and go to votewa.gov and look up your voter registration, and you can see the ballot tracking process from there. I encourage folks, just recently we've added texting options to our system, but you can only sign up for that online because you have to do the approval. And once you do that, you will get a text, hey, we've received your ballot. Hey, we've accepted your ballot. So that's one of the great ways. We've had people who might have a signature they forgot to sign or something, and they'll come into the office before we even send a letter out to notify them about it because of that.
Yeah. So I remember one election I had to get a replacement, and I didn't know what happened to the original ballot, and everything turned out fine. But I was like, what if somebody stole it and tried to take my vote? So from what I was hearing, it would check that signature and know right away that's not the correct signature.
Correct.
Would it if somebody requested a replacement, would that trigger the system like, oh, a replacement's coming in?
Yeah. So every time we issue a ballot, it cancels the prior ballot.
Okay.
So if someone did send that in, and it would kick out, we research it further. So that's a safeguard in the system.
Oh, good.
So we don't accept 2 ballots for one person.
Yeah. I think I found the original ballot like probably 3 weeks after the election.
Of course,
right? Yep.
Like what
in the pile of mail, right?
The magazines that come in or whatever.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
But it was like day before voting. I'm like, where's my ballot? So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get a replacement so easily.
I think there was it was like I could do an online version or something.
Correct. And we'd love people to know about that. It's called a My Ballot. So if you ever need a replacement, and especially closer to the election day, you can go online and print your specific ballot. Put it in a regular envelope, but you need to sign the declaration page. Yeah. That's in lieu of that envelope that you normally sign. Right. If we have that, we can package them and take care of them. It's a nice tool for when you're out of town.
Oh, okay.
And you might not be back in time to get your mail. Snowbirds, this is something that we recommend for those that go to lovely warm places in the winter.
That's a good tidbit. That's a good idea.
And it's also nice if you remember day before election day and we cannot mail you a ballot.
Yeah, there's time.
Or you won't, or for whatever reason, you're not able to come down to a voter service center.
Right.
So,
and we're going to have the URL, the link in the description below, so folks can get to the elections office and find all these wonderful things.
Yeah.
Great. And then, okay, we kind of talked about if they lost or never received their ballot. What about moving, or if they need something like they need an accessible voting service?
Right. So accessible voting units are at the elections office, 1033 West Gardner Avenue. We also have them at the voting service centers. In this election, at Center Place, which is 2426 North Discovery Place, but only on November 3rd and 4th.
Okay.
So helping the Valley people go to that location, they can just come in. They don't need an appointment or anything. They can just come in, and one of our helpers will assist them through it. Obviously, headphones, audio, and basically what it does is they may or may not have their ballot packet, but it prints out a ballot for them, and then there's a guide to help them sign and stuff like that.
Great.
So they have, if you haven't noticed on your return envelope, there's an option for witnesses. Have you seen that?
I have seen that, yeah.
I
never needed it. I didn't know what
exactly.
it was for,
so that's for people whose signatures, maybe they can only make a mark.
I see.
Or their signatures are failing. If they have 2 people witness them making that mark, then we can accept that ballot for them. So a really nice feature in regards to that.
I just want to just let people know power of attorney does not work in elections. We get this question a lot. Like they'll sign it. They'll sign their name and then the POA. And unfortunately, election law does not allow. So that the witness is the substitution for a POA. If they can make a mark and get it attested to them, we can definitely count it.
And I did, so in a totally different circumstance, I have learned that if you're a guardian of an adult, I believe that adult that your guardianship of, they don't have a vote. Is that correct? Do we know about that?
It has to be if the court
ordered it.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
And so the person
these are very specific circumstances.
Yeah,
it is. No, it
we
is.
get a lot of calls of people with the Alzheimer's and the coming into the dementia type stuff, and it's really sad because they'll tell us, well, they can't, but we can't cancel them without a signature. So hopefully they're at least able to sign for cancellation.
I see.
We can't randomly take someone's word over the phone and cancel a voter registration.
Of course.
So in regard, your question was if they moved.
Yes,
if you've
that
moved.
one, right.
So we have a same-day registration. So you can come in literally the day of the election.
Ooh.
You can fill in the information on a paper form, and we can move you to your new address and get you a ballot that would be a correct representation of that.
Okay.
Prior to the election, you can do it online and change it, or you can vote the ballot at that old address, that old precinct where you're at. But maybe, and that's okay, but maybe you wanted to vote for the newer issues at your new house because you moved into an area that was really
might have different representation.
Exactly.
That area. Yeah.
Exactly. But moving can be done in person,
Do you need
on the
proof
line.
of anything?
You don't.
Okay.
You don't. You can phone us, call us.
Okay.
We have a recent law is if you are in another county, so Chelan, and you're moving into Spokane, it used to be that you would have to complete another voter registration form in order to move from county. But a new law passed that you actually can do that over the phone, and voting history follows you, so you're not encumbered by filling out another form.
I see.
There was a time when we didn't have a statewide voter database.
Okay.
But when we went to same-day registration and allowing people to update in live time, the state created this statewide voter database so that we could follow voters.
Right.
And so then the old law where they had to re-register, that was in the past. And we said, can we please update this to help the voters?
I see.
Because why do they have to re-register when they're already registered in Washington State?
Right. And that we're just basically moving them to a new house location. Yeah. Talking about moving and all of this, it just brought to mind what you're talking about, like snowbirds. How do elections work when somebody splits their time from, like, say, Spokane and Arizona or something?
I'm so glad you asked that question. I really am, because there's a lot of confusion and questions that people have. We will mail a ballot wherever anyone wants us to mail their ballot to. And so for seasonal or snowbirds, if they know that they go to that address every year, then we can mark it on the registration form that they would like their ballot sent to this seasonal address during this time period. And so they just need to call us or email us, give us that information so that we can set it up for them so that they don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
We do have those who travel a lot and don't really know where they're going to be. It's different every time.
Right.
I would love to live that life.
My mom has a friend who lives that life. Just a lot of cruises and a lot of RVing.
Sure.
And so we do have people can come in early and get their ballots if they know that they're traveling out of town and if they are concerned about it. For November elections, people can come in mid-September and they can get a new ballot or their ballot.
Right. Oh, wow.
That way. So
now,
we want to work with people.
They have to pick where they're voting, right? They only get to vote in one spot.
Correct.
In the country.
There is a system called ERIC that we hear in the news quite a bit, and we're part of it. And the wonderful part, I think Arizona is as well, so we share information. So if we do discover that a voter might be accidentally or inadvertently registered in both states, we will send a card to the state. Actually, we'll do it on our behalf, saying which one would you like to be registered to?
Which one?
And we can only be in one.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Great. I figured there had to be something.
There's a lot of transition there. Some folks will be back and forth for a while, and then you find that they just want to stay down there because it's such a nice climate. And at that point, they cancel with us.
In the summer, though.
It is. That's true.
Okay. So we're talking about November coming up. What key dates should voters keep in mind?
Yeah, that's coming up fast. So next week on Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be mailing out those 375,000 ballots.
The 15th and the 16th?
Yes, correct. We've already done our military. Our military and overseas go out 45 days before.
That
and then
makes
20
sense.
days is when we start mailing to the local residents. Other key dates, you can call and change the address like Amy was talking about, but we have a cutoff for on the phone because we have to have some processes there. And that date is Monday the 27th is the last time you can go online to our votewow.gov and or call in to change your information. After that, you'll need to come to our office or voter service center on those days that they're open.
Okay. And like you said, day of, folks could come down to the office or voter service center if they have something to update. And they vote like right then and there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That makes it so convenient for folks.
It does. It really does.
Exactly.
So can I go back to
Yes.
Let's
back up.
Moving, and you had asked about seasonal.
Yes.
I just thought of also a problem or a question that college students have is what do I do when I'm at college?
Right.
And so that's an option for them as well, is they can give us a timeline of when they want us to mail their ballot. You know, do they want to stay registered in Spokane, even though they might be going to UW? Like, we will gladly mail their ballot to their address in UW, and we can do that. We can set up that date range for them. Or if they want to get registered in Seattle, they can register in Seattle and vote there. But college students do have options.
Okay, so that's good to know. I'm going to ask, you just triggered more questions in my brain. What if they're out of country at college?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Did I
No,
ask a good one?
That
is a
happens
good
a
one.
lot. If you're overseas, there's a UACAVA. Please don't ask me to define that acronym.
Okay.
But overseas voter and the military fall into that. So if you're not in the country, they have a specific website for that. But basically, you can qualify for an email ballot where we can email that information to you. You print it out, mail it back to us.
Okay.
And there's some alternatives in that program as well to help those votes get counted.
Okay.
And one of the benefits of that is we do mail them earlier than we do the mailed ballots, the regular ballots.
Right.
So it would give them more time to get it to them overseas.
Right. You guys have thought of everything.
Yeah.
Well, tried.
Pretty thorough, yeah.
You know, Washington State has been vote by mail for 20 years.
I know.
So we've had a lot of time to work out kinks and to perfect the process.
I was, when I moved here from California 20-something years ago, I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Because I just remember, got to go down to the voting booth in California. It was just like, it's a day. It's
right.
like
Takes
a whole
time.
thing. I was like, oh, this is easy. I just mark who I want and put it in the envelopes. And
when I started 6 years ago, one of my favorite things to learn in elections was that Washington State is nonpartisan. So that means that when you register to vote, you do not have to pick a party.
That too.
And that you can literally then, whatever color, you want to put it in.
It's all there.
And so, but we're the only state that does that.
Are we really?
I was like, that's so cool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I know.
Wow,
I was like, that's a
great.
fun fact.
So recently you guys did a couple programs at the libraries, both the city and the county, talking about how to make your vote count in local elections. Does anybody want to talk a little bit about that for our listeners and viewers?
We each have a point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when going in and preparing the presentation, we were thinking, well, what do we really want voters to get out of this? And we kept looking at the data or the statistics. People, they come out in droves for presidential elections, but for local elections, it's less than half of the people are making these decisions of who represents us locally. So we were thinking about, well, what is it that inspires a person to vote? Like, what makes them vote? Go out there and fill out the ballot and get the information they need, or what might be in the way, a barrier for that. And so in the class, we talk a lot about why do you vote? Is it because you have a sense of civic duty? Is it because economic issues drive you? Or is it because of social and moral issues that drive you? And then in the class, we tried to put it on a local level for them. Well, if economics is what drives you, look at who is deciding where your tax dollars go. That's somebody that you vote for locally.
Right.
If it's social and moral issues, look at your representatives and the decisions that they make for these issues. And also we talk about civic duty, like is it a legacy? Is it because your family does it and you want to do it too? Those things. And then Kris will talk about this in a couple minutes, but one of the barriers that we hoped we could remove for people was where to go to find information, because that might be I want to vote, but I want to be an informed voter. And so what do I do?
Yeah. So the other aspect about the class was understanding who are these people on the ballot and what do they do?
What do they do? Yeah.
What do they do? And I'm giving my voice to this person. I want to understand the types of decisions that they're making. And then it goes back into what Amelia talked about for, are they aligning with my ideals or, the things that I believe in? So we talk about all the different kinds of and colors, like fire commissioner, water commissioner, cemetery commissioner, all of these different types of people, and then what specifically they do and why you would want to maybe select one over the other.
Right.
And then the resources was another aspect that we touched on. And we want to encourage people, if they're concerned about the monetary part of their decision, if it's a levy or bond, which there are a couple coming up, people on these ballots, you can go to the assessors, the Spokane County Assessors website. You have to find your parcel number, which is an easy lookup, and they have you do that. But once you're there, you can also go in and see how much you're paying in taxes and to who.
Okay.
So what percentage is that tax dollar going to the schools? What's going to the county? What's going to the city? What's going to the roads? And then they have a really neat little tool there that we shared that you can look up what this levy is going to do from the upcoming election. So it'll say, well, if you're paying this amount this year and this levy passes, this is what it would be next year.
Okay.
Now, bonds is a different rule, so that doesn't work for that, but it does work for the levy to give people that economic decision, like how much is this really going to cost me?
Okay.
And there's other, really, the voter pamphlet, which we work very, very hard on.
Right.
It's such a great tool, and it's online as well.
I was going to say it's online because I've had to I don't know who in my house has the pamphlet. I'm just
pull out your phone and you go to votelaw.gov, and it will actually, if you look yourself up, will just show you what's on your ballot. So you don't have to thumb through everything else if you don't want to. It'll just show your races and your issues. So that's a really, really great tool.
I like how it narrows down like that.
Exactly, because can be a lot of candidates on the ballot.
I don't know, is that my person or not?
Exactly.
Exactly, right.
Am I in district 3, 4, 6, 7?
My first time
get those calls.
I think I went through the pamphlet and marked everything. And then I got to there and it's like, wait, this isn't even on
and
here.
And then they do. We get those calls like, but this person's not on my ballot. And it's like, but I read up on them.
They're not in your district. Yeah. So that's the thing.
So definitely narrow it down to your district.
Yeah.
That's very
And
convenient.
one other really handy tool is called the Public Disclosure Commission. PDC is our little acronym for it. And they candidates have to file if they're raising money, who's donating to their campaigns. And it can be very enlightening to where they're coming from as far as their belief system maybe, or how much they're spending. And some of them are self-funded. Local elections, typically the fire commissioners and stuff. But I am seeing more and more money spent on school district races that you would not see 10 years ago.
Okay.
So the money does have a tracking. So they are reliable to show who's putting the money into their campaign. So the public PDC, it's in the voter pamphlet.
Okay.
How to reach that website to see that information.
Voter pamphlet.
Exactly.
I'm really trying to push that.
Yeah.
I find it super convenient. Like I said, I think because it does have everything, right? Is that correct? I remember I was dog-earing the pages. I'm like, these are the ones you're voting for my daughter. Again, when she turned 18, it was her first time voting. I'm like, these ones aren't us. Like,
don't pay attention to those.
Whatever it was. But here are the people. And I was like dog-earing it for her. So she would... Just trying to make it easier for her.
Because it's a learning experience.
It's overwhelming at times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had, 20, 30 candidates for a governor race before.
Yeah, that's alarming.
A lot to sort through.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, how am I supposed to pick one?
I know, right? Those are primary elections, but still,
That's a lot.
That's why we have primary elections.
And also in the voters pamphlet, if the candidate provides us with contact information, then we put it there in the voters pamphlet. So if somebody is curious, they can go to the person's website or they can try to get more information, because the candidates are only allowed like 200 words in a statement.
That's right.
sometimes that can't be enough.
Right.
So there is other information that they can go and find.
Nice. Okay. Where can people find more information about voting and elections? So we've talked a lot about this already. But I was curious if someone wanted to look at like a representative who's currently like an incumbent, what their voting record is. Do you guys have any information on how to find that kind of information? Does that come through any of the sites? That
I've seen it on the Spokesman Review.
Okay.
They will have in their Sunday paper, certain
Like
issues they'll have who voted what locally.
I've seen it
because Idaho and Washington will be represented in those articles.
I've seen it legislative.
Do you remember on our class on Saturday, there was somebody in the audience who, that was for judicial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because those are a little harder to find.
Yeah, because they were talking about the bar association, to talk to them about who the potential judges are, or
that's a challenge. Judges
that is hard.
Are nonpartisan.
I was going to say,
I think in our world today, most people are not following that as true.
Right.
They tend to have a lean one way or the other, and it's very hard to find that information. To be honest with you,
I know that for state races, ledge.wa.gov, they will track. And you can see, which representative or which state senator voted for what bill.
For which bill, okay.
For locally, though, it is a little bit harder.
It is hard.
I have looked up the state before, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
You have to go and look through past
city council
and then
you would, and even school board minutes and everything to see what they're.
But it is possible folks could find that information. They might just have to do a little dig.
Yeah.
And honestly, come to the library and ask for help. Our librarians
very good resource. True.
For sure. Because we get all kinds of questions about lots of different stuff. So they'll help you find whatever you're wanting to know research-wise.
Well, if anyone listening wants to have a project, maybe they could invent something that
will research.
That would be
interesting. Yeah, that'd be a lot of work.
I'm not an app creator, but
right.
Maybe I know one.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
We did want to give a shout out to the League of Women Voters.
Yes.
They assisted us with the presentation that we've been doing at the library, and they're so instrumental in going into the high schools and doing voter registration and education and the process of just what to do when you get your ballot, how to mark it, how to return it, all of those kind of things. And they're a great resource in town. So,
because we're so involved with it, we forget that for somebody who's new to voting, it might not be obvious that, you put this in a security envelope and you put that in the return envelope and you sign.
Actually, my daughter did her voting and then just handed everything. I'm like, no, dear.
That's part of it.
You put it in the yellow envelope, then you put the yellow one in the white one, and then you have to sign and date it. And she was like,
that's a lot of work.
Big old sigh. I'm like, you could do it. It'll take you 5 seconds. But there is a process with that. And you don't just walk around with your ballot going, here, take it.
And I'd like to jump in on that. Yeah. When we print those envelopes, there's voters' names are on the envelope.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you how many sign the wrong envelope. They don't pay attention, and it's a spouse signing for the other. And we work it out, but it does take a little extra time on our part to be able to get that. So sometimes voters are sent a ballot, and they're like, I already got one. Well, they don't realize that someone in their household already returned their envelope.
Oh, oops.
With their,
I was going to say, I usually, for my house, ballots come in, I'm like the one who's like, okay, honey,
this is yours.
Right, you distribute
that one's yours.
And
exactly. Daughter, here's yours.
To some people, ballot's a ballot, and they don't realize that the name's on there. And on that note, too, one of the saddest things we encounter is we will have every election someone who will just put their ballot in a security envelope, the yellow one.
Oh, no.
And not use the one with their name on it.
And it goes in the ballot box without that out.
Yeah, so we can't
do anything with it.
We can't do anything with it.
It won't be counted.
Yeah.
And in their minds, they're thinking, well, it's a secret vote, right?
Right.
So, why can't I just cast my vote and
have it be counted? Yeah.
But
you have to track it to the person so that there's like no double accidental vote
and for that signature.
And that's
because that is one of our security measures.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's always sad to see because we'll get several on big elections, especially. And you're like, you took all that time and then nothing's going to happen with it because we don't know who you are.
So really important to make sure not just the security envelope, the yellow one, but the other one, the white
Right.
one with your name and
yes.
it has and their signature line
Mhm.
that you sign.
Exactly.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, since I brought up security.
Yeah. Here's a question.
Let me talk more
Yes,
about
please
that.
do. Please do. I
Yeah.
think everybody wants to make sure
It counts.
everything's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
vote counts.
Mhm.
It's secure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So before an election, our tabulation machines are just basically big scantrons.
Okay.
So they are looking for, oh, look, this race has 2 candidates or 3 candidates. So it's just looking for what's in the bubble. And we do what's called a logic and accuracy test, where we mark up test ballots. They're not real ballots, but we run them through the tabulation machines and we see if it is counting the way that it should be.
Okay.
So we do that before an election. Then when the ballots come in and we do signature verification, then we open after the ballots have been accepted because the signature matches.
Got it.
Then we remove that information, the name, the person's address from the security envelope so that the voter has that privacy. And then those envelopes go into a locked room. And we then move on with just the ballots in the security envelopes. And we do get calls from people who are very concerned because they forgot to put their ballot in the security envelope. And so they'll rip open the return envelope and they'll put it back in. And it is fine if it's not in the security envelope. The one that matters the most is that return envelope and that it's signed.
With the signature and the barcode.
Yeah. And so what happens if we get one where it's not in the security envelope? We just put it in one and we put it with the rest of the group of the ballots.
Okay.
And then by that time, all the personal identifying information is removed. And then we open up the security envelopes and pull out the ballots and we lay those out and we look for, is there something on the ballot that the tabulation won't be able to read or to understand.
Right. And the instructions, like if you accidentally bubble the wrong candidate, you put the
how
X.
to make a correction.
I think I did that once.
Yeah.
So how does, when that comes through, does that get picked up automatically or is that something that kind of spits out and says, oh, somebody with human eyes needs to look at this?
So what happens is once they're all put in their batches and we run them through, then we do what's called adjudication. And the tabulation machine is looking at
did it read the bubble?
Did it read the bubble?
Okay.
And so we look for any races that were undervoted, meaning that the machine didn't see anything in the bubble.
Nice.
So we look through all of those to see if, did the voter just get outside the bubble? Did the voter circle the name? And we have what's called a voter intent manual that we use that comes from the state when we make these determinations. And then also the machine is looking for, did 2 bubbles get filled in or did 3 bubbles get filled in? And we look at those as well to see if, was it a correction? Did the person
they cross it out or something?
Yeah. And if it's a correction, then we remove that it was a double
double bubble.
And double bubble.
Double bubble. There you go.
Or triple bubble.
Yeah.
Put that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Right. I use that.
So that the tabulation reads, the voter intended that this is for this candidate.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of eyes.
Again, all the little details that you guys have worked out over the years and you've got it down.
Yeah.
And then after the election, we do a post audit to make sure that the machine was counting correctly during the election. And there's 2 different kinds that we can do, but one that we've been doing lately is a risk limiting audit. And so we have to look for this ballot that's in this batch, in this box, and we get to dive through the boxes.
And pull out the physical ballot.
And you send out what was it, 375?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we really do care. I mean, if the elections process, it's so tedious and there's so many checks and balances though. And so to do this, we really just love what we do.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure that people's votes are counted and that they feel confident because we put in so much work. If somebody doesn't feel confident, that's just sad to us because
and they might not vote if they're not confident.
Right.
Yeah, you hear a lot of apathy with that.
Right.
And then just another point on that is we have observers coming into our office during an election period. They're representing the parties in our county. They go through a training prior to coming in so they know what they're looking at. But they kind of validate the system. They have for years. Those key tests like the logic, and they're there to sign off on those tests.
Okay.
So they're the eyes and ears of the public, so to speak.
Right.
And they will sit there, bless them, some for 2 hours at a time, watching what we're doing.
And it's very hands-off, just observing, right?
Yes,
exactly. Correct.
Yeah.
They're in a designated area for security reasons.
Right.
And they're escorted when they're in our office area. But they are part of the process and have been for years. And the number of interest has grown over the past few years, which is good. So that's just part of what we do and how we validate it.
And then, go ahead, Amy.
I do want to talk about something near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
Drop boxes.
Oh, yes, because we have them at all of our libraries.
Yes, we do. In fact, Spokane Valley just got a walk-up one.
Yes. Moran Prairie, which is right by my house. I saw the walk-up. I'm like, that's new.
The library reached out to us and said, our patrons would really appreciate a walk-up in addition to the drive-up.
We have a lot of people that walk around
and
actually walk the trail behind the library. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So, the drop boxes are picked up in teams of 2. So they are secured and brought back to us for processing. We open them up the same day that we mail. So next week, you'll start seeing them be opened on the 15th. We have 26 drop boxes.
Okay.
Locations. Not
the
total number.
Yeah,
exactly. And with what is going on with the Postal Service and the delays that are happening, we encourage people, if they do get their ballot, great, vote early, mail it in. That would be wonderful. If, however, something delays you or you're getting a replacement, we strongly suggest that you use the Dropbox to get those ballots back to us in a timely manner.
How soon can we start putting right away? As soon as we can put it in a ballot box, Dropbox.
You can, as soon as you get it, you can go to and put it into a Dropbox, definitely. So,
and for anybody listening or watching, don't confuse the book drop.
Yes,
the big white box. That's the ballot.
So you don't have to return your ballot to your local one. Like if you literally are driving, North Spokane and you're looking in your car and you're like, I forgot to drop this off. Drop it off at any of the locations. Exactly. Even if you get a Spokane ballot and you're going to the UW, put it in their Dropbox there and their elections will mail it to us in a timely manner. So Dropboxes are available throughout the state in regards to getting those ballots back to us. And we want them to count. We want them to make sure that, we get them on time.
Right. And that's a good tip if somebody lives in the valley, works north, or lives in the West Plains but goes downtown every day for work. You just take your lunch break or whatever.
Exactly.
And you can drop it right there at the library and wherever the drop boxes are.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm sure we can find those on the election.
They are.
website.
They're not only on votewa.gov, but they're also on the Spokane County Elections website. Excellent. And just, they're on the bus routes. We hit the libraries. So.
The locations are on the back of your ballot.
Yes.
And in the voters pamphlet.
Woo! Lots of choices.
So there you go. I know we at the county libraries, we put a little sign out probably around the same. It's like a banner.
Okay.
And remember to vote.
Yes, nice.
Or it's a lawn one, or like a that you just I can't remember
Sandwich
now, but something. Remember to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
important issues. So
Amy had mentioned when they're collecting ballots from the ballot drop box that they secure the ballots. So that's with a seal. Okay. And they log the seal numbers. And then when we come back, we verify those seal numbers. And when a ballot gets back to our office, we treat it as gold.
Okay.
There's no one person is left alone with ballots. There's always teams of 2.
Okay.
And we always seal up the envelopes and the ballots at the end of the day so that there can be no tampering, and we log it, and our observers come in and they look at the logs as well. And so
that's important because there's that point A, which is the ballot drop box, to point B, the elections office, and the tallying and votes. Yeah, it's kind of sounds like an armored car situation. Maybe not exactly, but there's folks getting the ballots from the ballot box, securing them, bring them in secure. More security happens.
Yeah. And so locked, sealed rooms, like we protect those ballots.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah. I think some people are really curious about that transition from the box to the office. So that's good to know.
Yep. I was teams of 2 and, they're employed. So we have about 100 and how many? 25? I don't know.
Quite
extra help.
Great.
So they come in and they assist us during the election periods and do our eyes and ears out in the world and our extra hands.
So if you see 2 people,
well, they will be labeled. They will be driving a county vehicle, and they will have their badges.
And they're opening the box.
Yes, exactly.
They're doing their job.
They're doing their job. Yeah. So when they're at the box, and if you do see someone that is emptying it, they will identify who they are. You'll see them with what we call a drop box bag. Okay. And it's your comfort level. You can wait until they're done and the box is sealed again, and then you can put the ballot in. Okay. Or you could hand it to the drop box worker and you can watch them put it into the bag. It's all up to you, whatever your comfort level is. And if you didn't like that, you can go to another library and drop it off.
Yeah. Or if it has 2 drop boxes.
There you go. One at a time. They can't be emptying both at the same time. So
perfect. Well, we talked about a lot today.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to hit on one more time that just it seems like maybe the most often question that you guys get, or anything we want to?
We just want to see turnout grow. Okay. And as Amelia started with the presidential elections, they can be 80-90% turnout. These elections, we hold our breath and hope for 40%. Okay.
But they're so important.
But they're so important.
Well, and a lot of levies, bonds, and local
your
folks.
School directors. There's a lot going on out there.
And we've had a few podcasts with the Spokane County, I want to say Transportation Council. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting with them, all the people that are elected officials on their board that are making decisions about where that money's going.
Or on the ballot this time.
Yeah. So if roads and traffic and bike lanes and walk lanes, if any of that, the
your
buses.
Quality of life.
If any of that, and how much that impacts your life. Consider voting every single election. I think it's I think some people might also think, I don't really have the time to research everything. What would your response be to that?
That's why we mail it 2 weeks in advance.
Some people do in families or whatever, investigating parties, voting parties, where they're like, hey, let's talk about the people, or, what is it that you like about them?
Propositions, I'll take this one, you take that one.
Yeah, or learning it and sharing that information. Yeah. So some people do that. In my household, when we get flyers from everybody, I just shove them into the voters pamphlet and hold on to them so I can look up all at one time and have it in front of me. But there's, you sit down. It can take you sometimes a little bit as you're investigating it.
Sometimes I'll plan it out to do investigation one weekend.
Okay.
Think about it, go back with any questions I have and look again. And then the next weekend, usually right before voting day, I'll okay, now I'm ready.
Right.
So I'm glad that the ballots are sent out 2 weeks in advance. Because that helps me think about just planning it out and putting it in my my busy life, working and everything.
So 8 p.m. Later, November 4th.
I have honestly been there at 7:30 p.m.
Right.
Yeah. Where I think they were in my car for 3 days, and I was just dang, today's the day.
But you got it in. So yeah, definitely.
Before or after dinner? Okay, right now.
Yeah. All the boxes close promptly at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So make sure that you get your ballot in.
All right.
Yeah. And just a tip, when you're looking at these candidates and you read their statements or the information and they're telling you they're going to cure certain things, or, there's a bunch of buzzwords typically every election. Do they have the authority to do that?
Right.
So that's where I go back to what Amy was talking about. What's their job? What do they do? And so if they say they're going to do certain things that, everybody wants to cure fentanyl problems, well, do they have the authority to do that on the school board?
Sorry, that
Probably not.
that got me.
Yeah, so you just kind of have to look at that information and just be aware of what their jobs are
Yeah.
and what they actually do, because we see a lot of interesting statements sometimes.
And don't be afraid to reach out to the candidates. That's why their number, their contact information is in the voter pamphlet.
Public office.
It is. And if you have some pointed questions, call them.
Okay.
Ask them what their opinion is on X, Y, and Z.
Right.
What's important to you?
Every now and then I'll see there's a candidate who doesn't have much of any information.
Yeah, that's a choice.
Okay, so that just means
it's optional for them to participate in the pamphlet.
Okay.
That might tell you something right there.
It usually does. Usually I'm like, well, they're not taking this seriously. I'm not going to take them seriously. That's just
or they're
me.
unopposed sometimes.
Oh, okay.
They don't have someone running against them.
Okay.
Yeah, those are tough ones.
Okay.
The unopposed candidates. We always just hope for more people that are interested in making it a race. But
Okay.
And we count whatever you vote for. You don't have to vote the whole ballot for it to be tabulated.
So if we skip, there's like
if you skip races, then it will, it'll go through.
Go through still. Okay.
Count what you want.
That's a good point because I think we were having that discussion, my husband, my daughter, and I, and he's like, "Do I have to vote for every single position?" I'm like, "I don't think so, but I don't.
You don't.
I don't know
You
exactly.
You don't.
Like, we found the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Online somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
all right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you all. Lots of good information. I think you've made me feel more like comfortable and secure in my vote. Like I'm like, okay,
Excellent.
I now know so much that it's like I know it's getting there and it's getting counted, and I'm confident now.
Good.
So hopefully everybody listening and watching, hopefully you're confident. This is a really great job.
And if not, call our office. We, tours can be done for groups.
Nice.
Check in with us. It's public.
I bet you'll get some calls for some groups.
Yeah.
Good. We love to share. We love talking about this.
Awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for having us.